Hey everybody, good morning. Welcome to today's morning devotion. We're going to be in Genesis chapter 27 as we just continue ripping through the Bible. If you take it day by day, you will get through it because we've already gone through it once. So we are on a second round of the Bible, which is absolutely cool. If you have gone through it with us, then man, that is amazing. You've been doing these devotions for a long time. Craig, you've been in here for a long time. And boy, hope everything's going well in the San Jose area of life. And Laura, Paula, good having you in the house. Paula, hope you're doing well. And glad you are enjoying some of the tunes. Sometimes I do put those tunes in the back of the whole Devo, but they're real kind of slight. Or, you can't hear them too much when I'm talking, but they usually are hanging out there. They're pretty cool. Okay, so you guys know I go through the Bible Monday through Friday, and it's not, don't do anything crazy, but it's really fun when you read it. And we just kind of pick it apart a little bit. You kind of go, wow, 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 wow. And you kind of get an idea what God's like, the issues, why we can't see God when we go outside, that there's something going on, there's a problem, why our world is one of death, why human beings act the way they do, why we have moments of glory and of goodness, but we can't seem to, if you will, retain it. It tends to fade quick. Like we just can't seem to hold on to proper motivation, proper behavior in every facet of life. And it's overwhelming if you think about it. That's why many philosophers kind of have run into a roadblock with life without God, like the book of Ecclesiastes, very existential book, right? What's life like on the planet without God? It's Zippo. It becomes meaningless. Nihilism sets in, right? Where you're like, what is the purpose of it all? And there is none. And the Bible also paints a really cool picture of human behavior in its glory, meaning we see that the issues that we have run into today are the same issues that have been going on for a long period of time, even very specifically when we talk about the land of Israel and the people of Israel and the people of the Middle East and the Arab people and the different tribal people in those areas, what people call Palestinians. Their descendants, the descendants of Crete, the descendants of the Philistines. All this is kind of detailed out for us in genealogies and where people come from and how things developed. And I mean, it's really, really quite a breakdown. I used to bag on the Bible, as you guys know, quite a bit, and kind of rag on it. But, you don't read anything like this anywhere else, meaning there's no other spiritual book. I've gone through some of the Quran on my YouTube devotions, and that doesn't hold a candle to this, right, to the Bible. Meaning, and you can read I've read Bhagwan Rajni, Sai Baba, different Buddhism, Hinduism, these kind of books. But nothing holds the candle to the Bible. The Bible is a thorough history of our world. In a very, very detailed breakdown. Not so detailed where it answers everything, but it certainly gives us something to hold our hats onto. Really anchor down and go, wow, I could see why our world is the way it is. So very cool. Anyway, it says, one day Isaac was old and turning blind, and he's been having a problem with his son Esau. Sibling rivalries, him and Ishmael. We have women issues, Sarah and Hagar, and we have son, father, mom issues with Isaac and Rebekah. And the son's decision, Esau's decision to marry some women, a couple women at that, remember, weren't even part of the family line, kind of went outside the crew. And it says they gave him trouble, a lot of trouble. Ooh, no fun. So it says one day Isaac was old. So now we got Isaac being old, Isaac and Rebekah old. And he was turning blind, and he called for Esau, his eldest son. Remember, it's the one he liked, he favored. And he said, "My son." "Yes, father," Esau replied. "I am an old man now," Isaac said. Now remember, there was a prophecy back a couple chapters ago that Esau was actually going to serve Jacob. So the older was going to serve the younger. Well, let's see how it kind of plays out now. We get more detail. It's a very Hebrew way of writing, by the way, where we get a summary and then a detail. We saw that in the very early parts of the book of Genesis as well. So kind of cool. And, I guess every culture has a style of writing and how they write history and all that. So it says, "Take your bow," hey, I'm in the Bible, "and quiver full of arrows, and go out into the open country to hunt some wild game for me. Prepare my favorite dish and bring it here for me to eat. Then I will pronounce the blessing that belongs to you, my firstborn son, before I die." But Rebekah overheard what Isaac said to his son. So when Esau left to hunt for wild game, she said to her son, Jacob, "Listen, I overheard your father say to Esau, 'Bring me some wild game and prepare me a delicious meal. Then I will bless you in the Lord's presence before I die. Now, my son, listen to me. Do exactly as I tell you. Go out to the flocks and bring to me 2 fine goats, young goats, and I will use them to prepare your father's favorite dish. Then take the food to your father so he can eat it and bless you before he dies.'" It's kind of interesting that you see some really cool behavior going on, right? The Bible says don't show favoritism. And we've talked about this before in the Devo, where it's really easy to, even in a day, to show favorites, to favor one over another, or this over that, and instead of learning how to see everybody in the same kind of way through the lens of the Messiah, through the lens of Jesus. Meaning everybody is seen, whether they're your kid or whether they're not your kid, through the lens of Jesus. How would Jesus want me to act? Or do you show a ton of favoritism? Are you always favoriting? Are you treating your kids different than you would everybody else? Like you wouldn't have allowed that with someone else, but you allowed it with your kid. That's favoritism. You could see where we run into a lot of problems, just like Rebekah and just like Jacob. They both favored one. We already kind of read through that. But here you see the breakdown. Esau is going to be blessed, and he's out hunting dad's favorite game. But Rebekah knows something about Isaac, her husband. She knows what he really likes, like the delicacies, the food that he really likes. Man, I know how to, really get him, in a good mood. Do you think there's a little manipulation that's going on here? Like when the mom gets with the son and says, "Hey, your dad's doing this, psst, don't tell nobody." That kind of thing. Don't say that. Don't do this. Da-da-da-da-da. Control, control, control. Right? And it's like manipulate, manipulate, manipulate. Yuck. Right? Oh my gosh. Have you ever done that before? Don't tell nobody. You get with your kids and you talk about things you shouldn't be talking about. Shouldn't be talking about it with them. Are you saying too much to your kids? But you're moving them. You're not thinking you're manipulating them, but you probably are. Because you're moving them in a particular direction. They're not gonna, you're gonna paint something a particular way, and they're gonna probably favor you and think you're in the right. And they're not gonna be objective because because they're your kid. Here you see just, man, it's a downright evil quality we have. This is why Jesus says, if you being evil know how to give good gifts to your kids. That is a mind boggler, but it's true. When you give gifts, a lot of times you don't understand that there's an evil part of it as well. And I know that's hard for some people to grasp because people really think they're good. They don't realize that the death and decay that we see all around us, in us, outside of us, is all a product of our rebellion from God. It's funny, everything's staring us in the face, saying that something's wrong, that we're wrong, that everything's dying, that we're rebellious, but we still ignore what is clearly evident every day of our lives. We get up, the trees die, everything else dies, our pets die, everything dies, our family dies, everything, but yet we still think we're doing good. Wow. Yeah, we're blind, right? Meaning when our eyes are opened, one of the things it's open to is our understanding of our depravity, that we are messed up. And then it leads us to yearn, to grope for a Savior, to need to cry out to God for saving. You'll see this theme throughout the scriptures, the crying out to God. But here you see this yucky manipulation move, right, of mom. Do exactly what I tell you, son, right? And then, oh boy, I'm going to get him where he's going to bless you instead of Esau. But look, Jacob replied to Rebekah, my brother Esau is a hairy man, and my skin is smooth. What if my father touches me? He'll see that I'm trying to trick him, and then he'll curse me instead of blessing me. You know, here Jacob, instead of saying to mom, hey, mom, what are you doing? Why are you talking to me that way? You know, some of the most difficult things I had growing up was to get with my mom and say, Mom, I'm not going there. I'm just not going there no more. You know, I'm not going to buy into the guilt. I'm not going to buy into the shame. I'm not going to buy into everything that you're throwing at me. Instead, I'm just not playing the game anymore. And, I'm going to go. And I did. When I was, 14? I left. Never went back. And a lot of us do that, where we can't take the Rebekah. You know, we just aren't the Jacobs. Man, we can't just go, yup, okay, Mom. And hey, guess what, Mom? I'm going to jump on board of that manipulation. I'm going to do what you tell me to do, and I'm just going to play along with it. Man, I'm blessed that I got 2 kids, man, that can call me on the carpet when I need to be called on the carpet. Not going to buy into dad's junk. Not going to buy into their dad's thing. No, I don't need my kids to be people that are just yes people to me. No, that's control. You know, I don't need that. I don't need a pat on the back from the kids. You know, that's not the goal. I'm not trying to manipulate my kids to like me. You know, oh, I hope they like me. I hope they like me. I'm going to manipulate them. Let me, use them for my benefit, for my ego, for my thing. But am I willing for them to correct me, to rebuke me, to say, Dad, you're wrong. Dad, you're not doing it right. You know, that is something that's, you got to think about. Is your family more like Rebekah and Jacob? Or is it like Jesus and Mary? Mom, I got a task to do, and I'm going to do it. Okay? So, but son, they need this, but son, they need that. You know what? I'm going to go do what I need to do. I'm going to do the right thing. I'm going to go listen to my father. Oh, man, cool. Paula says she left at 15 too. Worked a full-time job, went to high school at 15. Amazing, right? Sometimes it's hard to buy into your family junk, But many people do, and they grow up in it, and then they don't even know it. Even though we're in the church and we're worshiping the Lord, but they're doing the same thing in their family. They don't even know it. They're saying way too much to their kids. They're talking to their adult kids wrong. They're saying too much stuff. And it's all manipulative. It all plays on the heart. It all moves them. It's all a power game. I want people to like me. I need to have my kids like me. Da 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 da. It's, oh man. I like what Bob says. I'm with my family right now. Praise God. Yeah, it sounds a little bit Jesus-like, doesn't it, Bob? Hey, my what does he say? My family are those that receive the word of God. That kind of idea. That's cool. Okay, but his mother replied, then let the curse fall on me, my son. Just do what I tell you. Go out and get the goats for me. Oh, out of the kindness of my heart, I'm going to do everything for you, Jacob. Let the burden fall on me, son. I'm going to do it for you. Oh, yes. Out of the kindness of my heart, I've done everything for you, son. Just see what I've done. Can't you see that I love you so much? Just go do what I've asked you to do. Can't you just do that? Ooh, manipulation, yuck, control. Oh, man, this is brutal. So Jacob went out and got the young goats for his mother. Rebekah took them and prepared a delicious meal just the way Isaac liked it. Oh, she knows. She knows what he likes. She knows how to pull the string. Right? Was Rebekah and Isaac's marriage one that had some dysfunction in it? Was it one that, can you take correction from your spouse? Or is everything a manipulation to be liked and, to have control over a spouse? But do you want your spouse to be your spouse? To be an individual person, to have dreams and wishes and wants and desires and to call you on the carpet when it needs to happen. Or do we want to live in a fairy tale? What I've found in my, 53 years, that many of us humans would rather live in Peter Pan land than in any sense of reality. The cool thing about the Bible is that it's a big dose of reality. And if you avoid it like I used to avoid it, there's a reason why you avoid it. Because you don't want to live in a reality. You don't want to live in the real. You'd rather live in some kind of conjured up land in your brain that says you're good, everybody's good, we're all good, it's all good. And that's why we got slogans that say that. It's all good. Yeah, is it all good? Look at the world. Do you think it's all good? No. It says, okay. So she prepares the delicious dish for Isaac. Then she took Esau's favorite clothes, which were there in the house, and gave them to her younger son, Jacob. She covered his arms and the smooth part of his neck with the skin of the goats. Now notice how long this is taking some time. So this work is just something that's ingrained in them. It's just going, there's plenty of time to back out and say, nah, this ain't right. But it's just, it's just ingrained. Rebekah might have remembered the prophecy concerning Esau and Jacob, that the older was going to serve the younger. Maybe she thought, how is this going to happen? It's not going to happen. Even though it was prophesied over my kids that the older would serve the younger, my blind, not much of a brain husband, old guy, is going to mess this up. He's going to bless Esau. She might have thought that. She might have thought, I gotta get it right because the prophecy said so. thinking she had to help out God. How many of us think we're helping out God when we're just manipulating people? I mean, how many pastors think they're helping out people when they're just manipulating people? I mean, man, it's a real convicting thing to think about. Do I really love people? Or do I just say it? And I'm really wanting to move them a particular way. Man, there's a lot of things that you go, wow, there's a lot of behaviors that you see here. And it says, then she gave, this is verse 17, then she gave Jacob the delicious meal, including freshly baked bread. So it sounds like a little chowder. Yeah. Chowder in a buoy, right? Have you ever had that? A little bread, a little good stuff. And then it says, so Jacob took the food to his father. My father, he said. Yes, my son, Isaac answered. Who are you, Esau or Jacob? But Jacob replied, it's Esau, your firstborn son. I've done as you told me. Here's the wild game. Now sit up and eat so you can give me your blessing. Isaac asked, how did you find it so quickly, my son? The Lord, your God, put it in my path, Jacob replied. Ooh. Now it's all conniving and lying. And see, this is what happens when we have these manipulating of kids. We put them in situations where they have to lie, where they can't be honest with you. And so everything becomes kind of lying as a part of their life because you lie. And because you're not honest, because you're not dealing with things rightly. And so then now they're not dealing with things rightly. But you can't see it. You think you don't see it. You see that they're doing good. Rebekah's like, oh man, Jacob's the best. He's doing great. Yeah, he's doing great. Not really, but you can't see it. And that's the yuck. Instead of just being honest, and Rebekah just saying, hey Jacob, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be talking to you this way. I shouldn't be saying all this stuff to you. And Jacob should say to mom, hey mom, what are you doing? Why are you trying to manipulate me like this? Why do you put me in a situation? I'm not going to go that direction. I'm just not. Even if you're mad at me, I'm not going to go that direction. But they just keep going. So Jacob went closer to his father, and Isaac touched him. The voice is Jacob's, but the hands are Esau's, Isaac said. But he did not recognize Jacob because Jacob's hands felt hairy, just like Esau's. So Isaac prepared to bless Jacob. But you are really my son Esau, he asked. Yes, I am, Jacob replied. Once again, he lies again. Then Isaac said, now, my son, bring me the wild game. Let me eat it, then I will give you my blessing. So Jacob took the food to his father, and Isaac ate it. He also drank the wine that Jacob served him. Then Isaac said to Jacob, please come a little closer and kiss me, my son. So Jacob went over and kissed him. And when Isaac caught the smell of his clothes, he was finally convinced. And he blessed his son, and he said, the smell of my son is like the smell of the outdoors, which the Lord has blessed. Now Isaac is caught up in this. He's manipulated. He thinks one way, but it's not true. But it's at the expense of someone getting something. Someone's, Rebekah's feeling better about this. Oh, she feels so much better. Oh man, I was getting scared there. See, fear's moving in Rebekah, and that's why she did what she did. She feared that Isaac was going to bless the wrong person. And so she, out of fear, does this manipulative work. Jacob's lying to his dad, and Isaac's, caught up in the middle. He's the innocent person. He's like, he doesn't know. He's been manipulated. There's always an innocent person who doesn't know what's really going on in your heart. Really, how you're manipulative. Really, really all the reasons why you're doing what you're doing. You haven't revealed that. You haven't shared it. And that's kind of Rebekah right there. Instead of saying, hey, I am walking out of fear. I am scared. And that's wrong. I need to trust God. I need to trust that God's going to move on my old husband's heart and do whatever he's going to do, whatever God's going to do. But no, that fear is moving her. And I think we'd be surprised of how much fear moves us. And so from the dew of heaven and the richness of the earth, may God always give you an abundant harvest of grain and bountiful new wine. May many nations become your servants, and may they bow down to you. May you be the master over your brothers, and may your mother's sons bow down to you. All who curse you will be cursed, and all who bless you will be blessed. The reiteration of the blessing and cursing of Genesis 12 is reiterated verbatim in Genesis 27. This is an important technicality because many people believe that the blessing and cursing that was said to Abraham, meaning I will bless you, Abraham, and I will curse those who curse you, I will bless those who bless you, is simply just to the man Abraham. No. If you keep reading and just reading, it's talking about generation after generation. And here we see this is reiterated verbatim, this blessing and cursing to Jacob. So therefore, all those YouTube videos about this debate of whether the blessing and the cursing, meaning if you bless Israel, you will be blessed, and if you curse Israel, you will be cursed, that is just for Abraham, is moot. It's moot because people have not gone through the Bible. They've just read certain parts, but hopefully not us, right? We're wanting to walk through it, go through it, right? Just step by step. And so we see it there, end of story. It's a done deal. His descendants, Jacob's descendants, will be the blessed ones. Blessing to those who bless him, cursing to those who curse him. Out of Jacob is going to come the 12 tribes of Israel, and this is where we're going to get the idea of Jews from the southern tribes of the 12 tribes of Israel. So as soon as Isaac had finished blessing Jacob, and almost before Jacob had left his father, Esau returned from his hunt. Esau prepared a delicious meal and brought it to his father. Then he said, "Sit up, my father, and eat the wild game so you can give me your blessing." And Isaac said to him, "Who are you?" And Esau replied, "It's your son, your firstborn son Esau." And Isaac began to tremble uncontrollably and said, "Then who just served me wild game? I have already eaten it, and I have blessed him just before you came. And yes, that blessing must stand." Oh, trembling. What is the effect of all the manipulation? What is the effect of all the fear-based tactics? What is the lying, the trickery? What is it? An old man is shaking. The old man has been manipulated and is vulnerable, and you've exposed and exploited an old man. How many of us exploit our kids? We think it's love, but it ain't love. It's exploitation of them. Man, this world is riddled with that kind of behavior. Unbelievable, right? And Bob, I liked your comment, cafeteria Christians. That's why I just say no to all the different videos out there. And so it says, let's see. And then when Esau heard his father's words, he let out a loud and bitter cry. "Oh, my father, what about me? Bless me too," he begged. But Isaac said, "Your brother was here, and he tricked me. He had taken away your blessing." Now, remember, even though Esau is absolutely bummed, we saw that Esau didn't think much of his birthright. That there was a time when he was younger where he gave that birthright over for some soup. He was starving. The issue seemed to be pretty paramount. So paramount that Jacob said, "Hey, sell me your birthright, man." And Esau said, "Of course, yeah, sure, I'm hungry, dude. I'm starving. You want the birthright? Great, have the birthright." And there was a verbal commitment of, yeah, you can have it. But now Esau wants it. Oh, isn't that like us too? Saying things that we just shouldn't say. Again, being like Rebekah, saying things to your kids you just shouldn't say, your adult kids. You shouldn't talk that way in front of your adult kids. You shouldn't have said the things you say. You're moving them. You're hurting their heart. But yet, you're getting them on your side. You got them. They're yours. You got a friend for life. But what expense? Man, I remember the freedom of breaking away from my mom. Just the freedom of a manipulative house. A house that was filled with yuck. Where everything was so manipulating. And there was no love. I mean, they call it love. They said love. I love you. But man, it wasn't love. And either you're going to jump in with them and you're going to play the game, or and throw out honesty, or you're going to have to go. And so Esau exclaimed, "No wonder his name is Jacob, for now he has cheated me twice. First he took my rights as the firstborn, and now he has stolen my blessing. Oh, haven't you saved even one blessing for me?" And Isaac said to Esau, "I have made Jacob your master, and have declared that all of his brothers will be his servants. I have guaranteed him an abundance of grain and wine. What is left for me to give to you, my son?" And Esau pleaded, "But do you have only one blessing? Oh, my father, bless me too." Then Esau broke down and wept. Finally, his father Isaac said to him, "You will live away from the richness of the earth, and away from the dew of the heaven above. You will live by your sword, and you will serve your brother. But when you decide to break free, you will shake his yoke from your neck." So Jacob and Esau are going to have quite the conflicting of relationship. So you have Ishmael and Abraham, and that lineage that's in conflict. And you have a Jacob and Esau lineage that's going to be in conflict as well. When you decide to break free, you will shake his yoke from your neck. You are going to want to break away from him. There is going to be a disdain. People are going to disdain the Jewish people, Israel. They are going to disdain him. And your descendants, Esau, will want to break free. And when they do, man, you are going to throw off that yoke. You are going to want to get as far away from them. You don't want anything to do with them. You will hate them. Whoa. That's kind of what it sounded like. From that time on, Esau hated Jacob because their father had given Jacob the blessing. So there is a hatred. You would expect, if the Bible's true, there would be a certain descendants of Esau that would hate Israel. That's kind of interesting. We call it a conflict in the Middle East instead of sibling rivalries. But it says, "And Esau began to scheme, I will soon be mourning my father's death. Then I will kill my brother Jacob." Okay, talk about throwing off the yoke. But Rebekah heard about Esau's plans, so she sent for Jacob and told him, "Listen, Esau is consoling himself by plotting to kill you. So listen carefully, my son, get ready and flee to my brother Laban in Haran. Stay there with him until your brother cools off. And when he calms down and forgets what you have done to him, I will send for you to come back. Why should I lose both of you in one day?" Then Rebekah said to Isaac, "I'm sick and tired of these local Hittite women. I would rather die than see Jacob marry one of them." Jacob is not digging Esau's wives at all. There's conflict there with the women. Rebekah trying to manipulate things to get her way, to get things better, to make things right. She's trying to control her situation. Hey, how many mamas out there are trying to just control the situation? And so she gets with Jacob and she says, "Jacob, go here, go do this, go do that, go do this. Fix, control, right? It's fixing and controlling. And then I'll send for you and you can come back and everything's going to be good because I've already lost Esau. He's already gone. I mean, look at what's going on with him. He's a mess. Am I going to lose you too? I mean, doesn't it sound so much like our world? There's a lot of things we need help with in our world. And as human beings, we certainly need to be able to come to God and ask God today that God would give us hearts that don't want to manipulate people and don't want to control our children, our adult children, and that our joy and our peace doesn't come from us manipulating them to get them on our page, to get them to like us. That I'm not there to manipulate my kids so that they think I'm great, but that my peace and my joy is really coming from God and His love and His care for me. That God so loved the world that He would come and die for me. And that is enough. See, we sing songs, all of you are more than enough. And is that true? Is it true that He is enough? Or do I need to trick my kids? Can I not say something to my kids out of fear that they're going to get mad at me? So instead, I just keep enabling over and over and over and over and over. Is really Jesus enough? May God help us, right? May God give us, a joy in Him, a stability in Him, where we truly can freely love other people. Not in a manipulative way at all, with that evil inkling in us, but in a way that would truly honor God. Man. Okay, you guys have a great day. Great chapter. Bye-bye.